Hey, what is going on, everybody? It's your man, Coach Toby J, and you tuned in. Changemaker Playbook Live Edition, July 15th. It's getting ready to go down. And listen, come on up in the room. I'm going to give you time to get up in the room. You know, I got some announcements that I want to make. So just come on up in the room. When you come up in the room, just let me know that you're in here. Tonight, this is what I want you to do tonight. I'm going to go ahead and put this out there. My guest actually said, listen, you're going to eavesdrop on a conversation. That's always. You're eavesdropping in on a conversation. We're allowing you to eavesdrop in on a conversation. But my guest also said that you can butt in on a conversation tonight. You know what that means? That means if you have a question, put it in the comment, okay? If you have a question, put it in the comment, and we will do our best to answer that question. So I can see some of you coming in, which is cool. Share this. I want you to share this, especially if you know some people who are going through some things in their life, like major life-changing things in their life. Tonight, I really believe this conversation will provide some hope for some people, okay? Some encouragement for some people, and let people know that they too can get through whatever it is they're going through in their life. Remember what I told you, a story is not just about something that happened to somebody, okay? A story also says that it's possible, okay? So that's what you're going to find out tonight. You're going to hear a great story, a tremendous transformational story, and you're going to also get the encouragement that it's possible, that if I'm dealing with something in my life, I can get through it. Eloise, what's up? And let me say this as well. To all the people who have been with me, this is the 9th episode that we've been live. 9 straight weeks. Man, that's big for me. Because, you know, I be highly inconsistent. So for 9 straight weeks, we've been going strong. This is the 9th episode. Next Wednesday will be the last July guest series. And I have another guest next Wednesday. I've had 2 males. I got 2 females, one tonight and one next Wednesday. So you definitely want to tune in to the one next Wednesday as well. And the Big 9. That's right, Jasmine. The Big 9. So next week will be the Big 10. The Big 10. And then July 29th, I'm shutting it down for a week. So I will not be on here July 29th. I know you're sad about it. I know you're sad about it. But I will not be on here on July 29th that week. But I will be coming back. Sharonda, what's up? Okay, so I see some people coming in the room because they love Jen. That's what we want, right? That's what we want. We want people in here supporting Jen tonight. No doubt about it. We're here to hear her story. And so just remember, in August, I want to put this up on the screen real quickly. In August, I'm moving from Wednesday to Tuesdays, okay? I'm moving from Wednesday to Tuesdays. New night, same mission, bigger conversation. So the reason why I'm moving to Wednesday nights is because I want to be able to speak to people in all arenas of life, especially in the faith-based arena. And you know how that is. A lot of y'all got Wednesday night things to do, right? You got service, you got church, responsibility. So it's hard to get people in the faith arena on here on a Wednesday night. So I'm going to change it to Tuesday nights. So that means you don't have to wait later in the week. You can get it one day earlier in the week, right? Changemaker Playbook. So let me get this off my screen. This tonight is going, I hope you got, I'm just hoping we don't cry. Listen, I warned y'all to make sure you bring some tissue with you, right? Because you might need it. You really might need some tissue tonight. People who know me, I'm an instant crier. It don't take much for me to start crying. So I'm going to do my best to make sure I don't tear up so that my guests don't get emotional as well, okay? we're going to talk about navigating new normals tonight. And before we get started, I want to put this what we're working with, okay? This is the definition that we're going to be working with, and you're going to probably see this definition the whole night. A new normal is the place where change forces you to stop living from the old playbook. Now, for you, this is your first time being on the Changemaker Live Edition. If this is your first time, then you're like, what do you mean old playbook? Well, I give sports analogy a lot, okay? And when I talk about the playbook, I'm talking about the strategy, okay? So stop living from the old playbook and start becoming the person your next assignment requires. That's what we're talking about, new normal. When change hits you and it forces you to stop living by the old playbook, and it forces you, it almost causes you to become a new person. You know, this new person, in order for you to move forward, there's going to be some things that you're going to have to adjust in your life, a new version of you in your life, so that you can get through this new assignment in your life, right? So that's what we're going to talk about. This is what we're going to deal with tonight. And my guest, she's a woman of God. She my friend. It's funny because I'm looking at her right here. Y'all can't see her, but I can see her. And another thing about my guest, man, she has a smile that can just light up the room. Literally. I mean, a smile that lights up the room. She's a leader. She is a servant. She's a wife. She's just a great person. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and welcome to the Changemaker Playbook Live Edition. All the way from Chicago, then to Winston, my friend, Miss Jennifer Barber-Garrett. Jen, what's up?
Hey, Toby, you already cut up.
Look. This is how we do it, y'all. Listen. It was a group of us at one point where we just get together and just chop it up, man. Just have a good time and learn and grow together. And so I appreciate you, Jen. First of all, I want to say thank you for coming on here with me tonight, because your story is incredible. And I really believe that people need to hear your story. And again, share this. I want you guys to share this, because this could be that one share on your page that somebody sees and it provides hope for them. It keeps them moving forward in their life and move from a place where they've been stuck, but now purpose keeps calling them forward. Okay, so go ahead and share this. But let me tell you how I met Jen. We met at church, of course.
Yeah.
And we met in youth ministry. We did youth ministry together. We did youth ministry together, and I'm telling y'all, they had me doing some crazy stuff.
We thought we were cool. Go and talk about your crazy stuff. Go ahead.
Look, because when I was preparing for this, I was like, I don't want to be the one to initiate my crazy stuff. And so I was like, but I know when I say it, she's going to think about it. And so we was very creative in youth. I mean, very creative. And they had me do this character. For
You created that character by yourself. Tell the truth.
I don't want to take credit for that. But we created this character because we did these games, like like minute to win it type games. And so we try to make them a little bit more creative, fun. You know, we wanted people to come over to the youth group and just have a good time, to be honest with you. I mean, they was learning and everything. But Java, look, you got support. All your girls are up in the room. And so, man, we end up creating this character. They end up creating this character. Notice I said they, because I don't want to take credit for it. Called Brother Give It Away. Precious on here, called Brother Give It Away. And look, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to do it. I got a picture. Look, I got a picture, Jen. Look.
Yes.
Oh, my God. Look at that. So I was this character called Brother Give It Away, I was a game show host, basically. That's what I was. I was a game show host. And we would do this from time to time. As you see, I got on long blue socks, church shoes, shorts. What is that? Is that a United Youth shirt?
Yes,
I
yes.
got a afro with sunglasses and a basketball. I mean, this is what we would do.
Oh my gosh.
Like these were some of the things we would do in youth group, and it was called Brother Give It Away, and we would give away, yeah, serious throwback. Let me get that off the screen. But yeah, and so that's how I met you guys, and that was probably one of the funnest times I had in ministry. To be honest with you, talk about that. Let's talk about that time. Let's just talk about your time at with the youth real quick. Let's talk about that.
I think the greatest part about being a part of that ministry was the leaders who was all connected. Our text messages would blow up. It's something when you're just connected on a level that you can catch up with somebody's picking up in the spirit, or we just locked arms. We had a good time. Everybody's heart was to see the kids grow in Christ, but we had some innovative time. That's innovation where it started. We had talk shows. We had
Did we?
lip syncing we had a whole production.
We
It was a
did.
whole production, but it was great serving alongside people who heart was for Jesus and see the kids entirely grow. And that was so cool. And one of the things me and my friends talk about, Precious in particular, was like, we would love to have that feeling back. And I'm like, I don't know if you can recreate that moment, that season. You can't
Mm-mm.
replicate seasons. That's what I'm learning in life. You can't replicate it. It's going to look different. But that's a memory that I would cherish because it was a great bunch of people, good people. And these kids are grown now with kids, like
Yeah,
grown. That we
ministering,
talk. We talk. It was
ministering, and you know what? This is what I want to say to you and the whole crew, because we left a church and then came to that church, and y'all opened y'all arms up to us, man. And that was huge for us. Is that you guys we didn't feel like outsiders. We didn't feel like y'all was looking at us, judging us, or anything like that. I mean, y'all really allowed us to be a part of the group, and we didn't feel no type of like competition or anything. And I think that's what made that season so fun and so great. I mean, we was doing ice water challenges and like they doing now. We was doing all this stuff that I didn't think I would ever do
right.
personally. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I'm not going to do that. I mean, we up in there with choir robes on one time. I mean, every time we had Stu, because we culminated that whole thing into a big service where Stu came. We
Mm-hmm.
gave away beats. It was just crazy. I mean, Pastor Chris had me doing YouTube videos with running into his office. Man, I don't even want to talk about it. I remember
It
that
was
was good
crazy.
time. That was
Remember
good
when we
times.
all went to did you go? You didn't go with us to New York. All the leaders went to New York. It
I
was
didn't
so
go to that.
yeah, yeah.
I didn't go to
We were
that.
road tripping in a
But
minute. It was so fun.
yeah, I missed that one. I missed that one. But yeah, that's how we met. We met in ministry. We met with working with youth.
You
And so that was really good times. But let's just go ahead and jump in. I can see people in here. Julian, good to see you in the room.
it's good.
Thomasina, P. I mean, I'm seeing people in the room, which is cool. Miss Brenda, I see you in the room. I see you. Jasmine. Yeah, we good. We good to go tonight. And remember, share this. But one of the reasons why I
Also, thank
reached
you in
out,
the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat, the family. Appreciate you.
absolutely, absolutely. So one of the reasons why I reached out to you, I was thinking about like who do I want to have on these July guest series, and I came across a post that you posted. That's where we're gonna start. We're gonna start on this post that you posted. Let me pull it back up. Let me find it. I should already have it in front of me, right? And this is where we're gonna start. You posted something on Facebook, and it said, "I'm feeling incredibly grateful."
Mhm.
I said, "What Jen talking about? Let me see what this post talking about." It says, "A special thank you to my team and others for celebrating this achievement with me. Having people who cheer for your growth, challenge you to think bigger, and celebrate your wins makes all the difference."
Mhm.
Share with them what you're talking about share with them this achievement, and yeah, just share with them about what the achievement was real quickly.
So basically, the post that I shared, I don't know if that was like a month or so ago, but the company I work with, I'm pretty sure you guys have seen like Shark Tank, where people present an idea and they try to get it picked up by the CEOs in the room. So our company does a rendition of that. It's called Spark Tank, in which employees across the organization can submit an idea, whether it's a process improvement, any type of idea that they think that can excel or make a process better. It may not even be a process, it may be a thing or whatever. So I submitted 2 ideas in the Spark Tank, and hopefully my numbers are correct. I believe it was 200 and something ideas that was submitted, and 8 ideas was chosen to be presented in the Spark Tank. And 2 of those ideas were mine. And both ideas that I presented was a process improvement at work, in which was underneath my function. But
Mm.
it's just an opportunity for employees to pitch an idea and to get recognition for it, and pitching it in front of our VPs. So you have to gather all the information out your idea, put it together in a presentation, meet with stakeholders ahead of time to say, hey, I'm going to present this idea. What do you think about this idea? Is it feasible? What do you think? Getting thoughts on that. And the fact that my idea was chosen, both of my ideas was chosen, and I was able to present it, I believe maybe like a month ago, was a huge deal for me. And it was more of me getting out the way of myself, submitting that idea. Because truth be told, I submitted that idea last September 2025. But I had
Mm.
that idea. My mother passed away in 2022 in July. I had that idea before she passed away. Um, but we talked about it as a group. It was Precious at the table and another young lady at the table. She was like, you should submit your idea for Spark Tank. And I'm like, listen, I don't have the bandwidth for that, because a lot comes with creating an idea and trying to get it executed. I don't have the bandwidth for that. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to kind of sit on it. And I sat on it. And that was in 2022. And I presented it in 2024 and it got picked up. But more importantly, during that time, I only had the bandwidth to go to work and come home. And then I would crawl in my bed. I was just trying to keep a job at this point because I was
Mm.
dealing with grief and the loss of my mother. So I didn't submit that idea, but the ideas I submitted were ideas that would definitely improve some processes at my company. But also, it's called planting a seed. So they call it like the greenhouse. So we plant a seed, and when I plant a seed, what I told people and what I was pitching it, you plant a seed to go into the future. Because long after I leave this company, this idea will be part of legacy. So that's the biggest accomplishment, in which I posted about that, Toby, that I was proud that I had the gumption to submit it. But a lot of people are creative and sit on ideas, but they don't execute.
Mm.
So I was just happy that I was able to execute. I didn't know what the outcome was going to be. I had no idea I was going to get chosen, that it was going to get picked up. Just happy that I got outside my comfort zone and got past that stage of severe grief and depression to be able to do something on my job like that. So that's what that post was about.
See, that's what's up. Come on, I know y'all clapping. Y'all need to clap. Y'all need to clap up there. You know what? Check this out. This is what I found out. You're gonna trip out. Don't. I'm learning. I'm learning stuff. I'm learning stuff with this little thing. See, see that? Yeah. You're the first person that got an applause on the Changemaker playbook. There's an audience somewhere. All the people that's watching. That's what they listen.
Yes,
You hear 'em?
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
But
yes.
but but Jen, that's good. That's good. Especially I read the whole thing, and me knowing your background and probably what it took
Hmm.
to get to that point,
Yeah.
you could have easily not gotten to that point.
Hmm.
And so let's real quickly, let's do a rewind. Let people know, first of all, where you are originally from.
I'm really originally from the Chicagoland area. I moved here in 2006. So that's originally where I'm from. I've been here since 2006. So I'm a North Carolina transplant is what they call them.
Okay.
Yep.
And so you moved it here to North Carolina in 2006 due
Mhm.
to
A
due to
job.
what?
So the company that I'm at now, I got promoted to home office to work in a position. So so a little bit backstory. I took the position. They said, "Hey, do you want to move to Winston-Salem?" And on my profile, it said only major metro cities. I said,
Mm.
Winston-Salem is not a major metro city, honey. I don't want to go to Winston. But
Have
at
you
this
ever been to Winston before? You know
time,
anything about? Okay,
all
okay.
I knew was our company headquarters. Never been, never
Mm.
been. But um, what happened was I was just exiting out a very toxic relationship, and I was like,
Mm.
this is an opportunity for me to go, so I don't keep on entertaining that same toxic relationship to start new. When I moved here, I didn't know nobody. I
Mm.
didn't know nobody. The first
How'd you
person I met,
navigate that?
it was it was it was tough. I think I was excited to kind of, it was more for me for a healthy standpoint to get away from that relationship. It was less about, you know, the job per se. I didn't really know what I was going to be doing in home office, but um, it was kind of scary because I didn't know not a soul. Not when I say nobody, nobody. When I came to North Carolina, it's different from because I used to work the south side of Chicago. We didn't say hi to each other. We didn't do none of that stuff. If you
Mm.
looked at somebody too long, what are you looking at? So when I moved to North Carolina, it was definitely a culture shock. People will always wave, speak, and my mama came down here like the first week to kind of help me find somewhere to live, and she was speaking to everybody. I was like, stop speaking to everybody. We don't do that. And I remember driving here, and somebody was driving too slow, and I honked my horn. And when I pulled up beside them, they was waving at me. I was like, "No, that's not what I was trying to do. I wasn't trying to say, hey, you was going too slow." So it was definitely a culture shock, but I enjoy it now because it's really laid back. I enjoyed it. The first person I met when I moved here in home office is, guess what? P Money, Precious Dawn.
Really? I was gonna ask you. I was gonna ask you who was the
She was
first
the first
person you
person
met.
I met in the cafeteria because there wasn't a whole lot of us there, and she was in there and listening. She was eating a banana sandwich. I said,
A banana? Did it have a peanut butter banana or just
I have no
banana?
idea what was on that sandwich. I'm telling on her now though, but a banana sounds like this girl weird. But listen, I'm gonna befriend us because I don't know nobody. But it ended up being a great relationship. But yeah, that's where it all started at.
That's what's up. Okay, so you met P and you end up going. I'm assuming you end up going to church, right? So or was that
Yes.
so was Agape the only church at the time?
No, so no. Her brother was a whole time, a whole. This is how this worked out. I had been looking for a church, and I ain't gonna name no church names, but listen, I had went to visit this church, and I think it was around 10 o'clock, and it was around 11:30, and it was only on church announcement. I'm like, listen, I'm out. This is too long. We haven't even got to
Right,
the word. I'm
right.
out. So I had came to work the next day. I'm like, I'm trying to find a church. I'm not finding anything. The other church had me in church for 2 hours. They didn't even get up and preach yet. They were still doing the church announcements. And she's like, you should come to this church. I go to church. She leading worship. Her brother, the pastor. I was like, how come you didn't tell me all of this? You know how nonchalant Precious is. And that's where I rededicated my life at the church. Her brother was a Word of Faith pastor. I learned a lot underneath his ministry. When I tell you, you would have pages and pages of notes. You would have pages and pages of notes. But that's where I started at. And when his church merged with another church and it didn't pan out, that's how I got to the church where I met you guys at.
Gotcha,
Mm-hmm.
gotcha. And
Yep.
Thomasina said, I remember speaking to you. I remember you speaking to me for the first time with the side
Listen, I was very skeptical of people. Way too friendly. Y'all way too friendly in these streets. Way too
eye.
friendly.
Yeah, that's Chicago. But you explained why. You explained why. You from the south side of Chicago. That's a big deal. I'm from Tennessee. Like where I'm from, it's probably like 6, 7% black people, literally, where I grew
Yeah.
up at.
You had a
So
shell up. You know what I'm saying? You had a shell up in Chicago. And I had to tear that
absolutely.
down when I moved here.
All right. So you're here. Life is going. So these are all these new normals that I want y'all to understand. Genesis, for some of you who did not see the definition. Let me throw it up here. We're talking about navigating new normals. A new normal is a place where change forces you to stop living from the old playbook and start becoming the person your next assignment requires. So along the way, you're learning more and more about yourself that you didn't know about yourself as you
Yes.
was experiencing these new normals, right? Um, and then you get a phone call. Let's go here. Let's go here. You get a phone call. I'm glad you sent me this text. I got dates. You get a phone call in 2016
Mhm.
that kind of probably shook you. Explain to our listeners what that phone call was about.
October 2nd, 2016, it was my sister called me like 3 something in the morning crying. I'm like, what is going on? And she was saying that Alicia was shot and they saying she's dead. I'm like, huh? So just to give everybody some background information, my niece Alicia, she was a sophomore at North Carolina A&T College. So if this is the beginning of the year, October, and she had went to when kids get together and they play cards. It wasn't even a real party, but it was like, to get together to hang out. So in that area where she was at, it was several parties going on. And a guy came to the door and wanted to get in, but it wasn't that type of party. So they was like, nah, you can't come in. So they was outside fussing with the guy in the yard because he wanted to get in. Meanwhile, they in the house still playing cards. I really believe Alicia was oblivious to what was going on. So he shot a couple of times at the house, and the bullets penetrated the house and killed my niece and killed another young man by the name of Ahmad Campbell. So I got that phone call and she said, you need to go and check it out. Yeah, I didn't. The first person I called was Precious, of course, because Precious had become like family to me. And I'm pretty sure she was scared, but she rolled me to Greensboro.
Let
So
me
the
ask you this
entire
real quick.
Go
Let me ask
ahead.
you this. So was you the only family she had here?
Yes, I was. Yeah.
Okay.
But the
Okay.
crazy thing is, what we say is she come from all the way from Chicago, where it's a lot of violence going on, to get killed in North Carolina.
Wow.
We couldn't wrap our mind
Wow.
around that. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
That's the last thing. She came here for education, not to go back in a body bag.
Mm-hmm.
That just did something to us. So we drove to the police station, and the officer told us, because I was praying in the spirit all the way there, praying that it wasn't her, it was a mix up. And we got to the police station. He confirmed it was her, and I said, I want to see her. And it was like, you can't see her. I was like, oh, okay, what do I do with this information? So me and Precious just looking at each other like, Pastor Chris met us at the police station. This is on a Sunday, Toby, right before service. So
Okay.
you go to the
Oh
police,
wow. Right
yeah,
before
before service.
service. I remember it happened, but I didn't
hmm
know at the time, I didn't
I
know
remember
it
seeing
was
y'all
your
that day.
niece.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know it was your niece though. I
hmm
just like, what? But yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead though.
Detective Matthews gave us the news. Like, it's her, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do? You know what I'm saying? So I called my brother, my oldest brother. He is 12 years older than me, and he happened to be in North Carolina. I'm gonna tell you how God has set things up. He knew what was gonna happen before it happened. Of course, he doesn't miss. My brother was in North Carolina, in Wake Forest, North Carolina, looking for
Mm,
houses because he got a new job in North Carolina. So I called him. I couldn't get him. He don't ever answer his phone. So I called Pilar, his wife, and she picked up. I said, y'all need to get here. He was dropping her off at the airport. Y'all need to get here. And I don't even think she was in town, because they're saying that Alicia is dead. And he was like, what do you mean?
mm,
So he drive here from Wake Forest. He comes to my house. I said, they won't let me see her. And listen, the only thing I want to do is see her, because I was crazy enough to have some faith, because the word of God says, when you lay hands on the sick, they will come. I said, just let me see
mm.
her.
Right. I hear you.
And we went to the hospital, And I said, Doug, they're not gonna let us see her. He was like, oh, they're gonna let us see her. And we sat down in the emergency room. I was like, what did you say? He said, there's no need to worry about what I said. We're gonna be seeing her. So we went back there to see her, and I saw her because they telling us something, but I can't confirm anything because I haven't seen a body, you know.
Absolutely.
And I go back there and I lay hands on her, and nothing happened. And I was like, God, that's once I was believing God for a miracle. I said, this can't happen, you know. And when nothing happened, I was kind of shook because I was like, this, look, God, this is a perfect opportunity for you to move. This would be awesome testimony. But of course, that didn't happen that way. But how it pans out is that Doug ended up moving here. And before all of that, my brother Doug, he had background experience in funeral home, you know, organizing all that. He was able to, my sister didn't even have to come down here. It was no need for her to come, right? He organized getting the body flown back home. He organized us cleaning out. The next day we was cleaning out her dorm room. It was just like, it was like we was living in a dream. You know, everybody on campus was trying to have visuals and stuff. They wanted us to participate. It was just so much coming at us. It's like, and then I got to go home the next week and have a service for her. It just didn't compute to us. But it was crazy. It was crazy. So once we confirmed, before my brother had got here, because it was hours before he got here, I came back to the townhouse, and Precious said, well, what do you want to do? I said, I guess we're going to go to church. What are we going to do? You know, so I went upstairs, showered. She went back to her place, and she came to pick me up. And I just came back. I went to church. And the only thing that I could think to do was worship. That was my response. I told her there's no need for me to stay home and cry. Even though I was still crying, I was still messed up that day. I needed to put action to what was going on. I needed to respond in a different way. So that's the thing. You already said we was gonna crown this thing, and it's already.
Was that the same day? Was that the same day? So you went you went to church the same day?
Same day.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So let me ask. Wow. So let me ask you this real quick. Now go ahead. Go ahead. If you can really say something, go ahead.
So when I was coming to church, those that knew Alicia was like, "Was that your niece?" And so that's all like, yes. And so you was there. It was crazy.
So let me ask you this. So your faith per se, because you had one moment where you like, I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready to lay hands. And now you in a place of worship. Where was you at right there mentally when it came to like your faith in that particular moment? Or have you even thought about that? Like,
I did, because
was you upset? You know, because some people get in situations like that and they get kind of upset. Just be like, okay. Or was you just like, okay, God, you're God, and I don't have the answers?
I was upset, because the reason why I was upset, because prior to that, I was in several situations where we had family members that was on a hospital bed, and I would do the same thing, pray, and we believe God for a miracle, and nothing happened. So that's why I said, God, this is your perfect opportunity to show up, because it didn't happen the last 4 times. So it didn't happen this time either. So I was hot. I'm like, this is what your word says, and it's not happening. But in this moment, I didn't reconcile it. But now I reconcile. Just because it didn't happen doesn't mean God is not capable of doing it. The proof is in the Bible. We got examples in the Bible. When we get to heaven, we're not going to be able to know. We're not going to know the why. And some things we can't rationalize it. We don't know why. We just don't know why. And I think as believers, sometimes we want to give a reason. But I'm the type of person that respond, I don't know why. This is what we're going to do.
And so you just went to church and worshiped. Even in that moment. I mean, you did what you knew. What you knew how to do. Yeah, that's
'Cause I'm here, my family's there, my sister, and I was like, and one of the
so
things
how
with
was
my
your
brother,
sister in this moment? You know what I'm saying? Like your sister, she's in Chicago,
that's her baby.
and correct. Like
Mhm. That's the
what
last
what
one to go to
what
school, you know?
what was that communication like? You don't mind me asking.
It was tough because one of the things my brother said, he said, "I'm the big brother. What I'm supposed to do is to help mitigate pain, and I can't do nothing about this."
Mm,
So we felt helpless.
mm,
She's there and we're here and we're communicating. Well, Doug's communicating back and forth what's going on. But I felt for her because I couldn't do anything,
right,
nothing
right.
at all.
So how did you personally? I mean, one way you navigated it is you just said, "Hey, I'm gonna go to church." You know, my response is, even in the midst of all this, I'm upset, mad, I don't understand, but I'm still gonna worship. You know,
Yeah.
how did you navigate that little period of time in your life?
Well, I mean, because the person, my sister flew in town, we canvassed the pavement to try to get people to talk to the police about the situation. We did vigils. We came to the school to speak. We kind of like went
Mm,
into action mode to get people to talk because we wanted somebody to come forward and, kind of, we wanted we wanted to apprehend whoever was responsible for it.
mm. You wanted
So I think we
justice.
went into action mode, and we wanted justice to be served, and it didn't come till a couple of years later. Um, it was just a lot to navigate and to watch my sister go through that. And even to this day,
Mm,
it's still it's like it's fresh.
mm.
I was just in Chicago this weekend, and you know, and my sister turned 62. She said, "I just wish my mom was here, and I wish Lisa was here." They say
Mm.
the biggest loss is a parent or a child. I only know a parent. She's experienced a child and a parent.
Mm. Wow.
So her loss has really, I look at her now, she's just different. Her whole presence is different. She's doing the best she can, but it was tough during that season. It still continue to be tough because it's like it happened yesterday. I can remember all the details like it happened yesterday.
Mm.
So
So let me ask you, you know what? I'm over here looking around like for some tissue, like you was side of
like you
me.
gotta give me some.
Right.
Yes.
So let me ask you this, and I know this may sound crazy what I'm about to ask.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so 4 years later is when you all, I think it was like 4 years later, based on this what you gave me. You end up losing your mom.
Yeah.
Okay, so this may sound like a crazy question because you can't put grief on a scale per se because you're
Yeah.
gonna be always probably dealing with grief in some form. But like if I was to say from like a 1 to 10, like 10 being when your mom passed, when it comes to your niece, when it comes to the grief with your niece at a 10 being, oh, I was still messed up, I was towed up. One being, oh, I was cool. Like so, from a scale from 1 to 10, where would you say you was at when it came to navigating the grief of your niece before your mom passed?
Mm,
But you
probably.
just still, but you stuck, or was you still moving though? You like you
I
was
was still
still.
moving, but we had experienced a lot of grief in between that. Like my mom's
Mm.
sister,
Oh, I didn't know
it was
that.
crazy. My mom's sister daughter passed away. So when they was getting ready to have that funeral on that Saturday, I guess because she was just so upset, she ended up passing away at the day of the funeral. So we have experienced grief.
Whoa,
So
whoa, whoa,
I was
whoa. You wait a minute. You said that. Now go back. Say that again.
my mother's niece, which is my mother's sister daughter. She had passed away. She was young. She had like
Right?
I don't know if it was like some type of asthma. She was in her 30s. And that was her baby. So the day of the funeral, they was getting ready to have the funeral. And my aunt woke up and had a massive heart attack, got rushed to the hospital and died. So they were able to have that funeral because she died on the day of the funeral. And then, not even a year later, her other daughter died. So an entire family was wiped out within 6 or 7 months. So grief was always on the brink. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, and then my mother lost another sister, So it was kind of like that sore right there that haven't
That
fully
never
healed.
healed.
Yeah.
It just never healed.
Yeah.
And then your mom passed.
Yeah. She
What?
was my sister's birthday, July 8th. That night, my sister had FaceTime and she was having a good time. She had my mom, her best friend. They had went to a winery or something and to celebrate my sister's birthday. And she had been complaining she said, I think I got some indigestion or something, nausea, food poisoning. And she said she had threw up. I said, Mama, I said, throwing up like that is a sign of a heart attack. No, I'm just, I think it's food poisoning. And they went my sister brought her back and took her to the doctor. And the doctor's like, so I'm going to tell y'all this. When you go to the doctor, don't give him the symptoms you think you may have because they're going to treat you based off of that. So she went in and said, I think I got food poisoning. So they wasn't searching for heart. But I had read research. If somebody throws up profusively, that could be signs of a heart attack. So she goes to her heart doctor and they take her out in an ambulance to the hospital and she gets ready to have the procedure. My mom is on the stretcher calling me saying, hey, you need to get home. And I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get home. My other brother, who came down to North Carolina, he was like, you don't need to get on the road. Hold tight. So she had that surgery that night. She made it through and I got there the next morning. And she was, in the hospital for about a week. And then we went home the day she got released. Because, you've been in the hospital. She took a nice bath. She had one of those senior citizens tub where you climb in and you sit down and you got to fill the water up. So she was happy she was able to get a bath. And then I gave her nighttime. She was like, I feel like something stuck right here. I said, does it hurt or is it stuck? What's going on? And I called my sister and she was like, maybe give her a nausea pill. But then she started kind of sweating. I knew that was like a sign. Put her in the car and went back to the hospital. Actually, I called the ambulance and they met me at the light and they took her there. And she did not make it, because they went back in and see if one of her stents was blocked. And she didn't make it. The crazy thing about that, I called Precious again and let her know like what was going on. And she stayed on the phone the entire time we was praying in the spirit, and people thought we was crazy. Listen, the minister that came in and tried to pray, I was like, "Nah, we got this." You know what I'm saying? We praying in the spirit. He over there sitting like this. He's scared. He got a little nervous. He was just sitting there. He just hanging out like,
Right.
He acted real, praying in the spirit real light. And I was like, saying all the things, just believe in God. And they came out there and said, we got our heart started back up, but it was with a lot of, listen to this, with a lot of medicine. And, and I was like, okay, so we're going to continue with the procedure. And then they not yelled, but in the hospital, you ever heard the thing that says code blue, cath lab, code blue? I looked at my sister and I said, that's mom. She said, I said, that's mom. She's the only one in the cath lab. And they came out and said she didn't make it. But the first time when they came out and said that, she made it with they're going to continue with the procedure, I said, just save my mama. Just save my mama. But she didn't make it. But the only reconciliation I have with that is, I don't know if you ever research when people have to go through all those measures to restart your heart and do all that medicine and stuff in you. I don't know what it looked like. I don't know if they had to crack what they had to do. But I knew my mom did not want she would not want her quality of life to be hampered with. Because
Mm,
my mom was called Go Nana. She liked to travel. She liked to do all the things. She's not gonna be in no wheelchair, bed bound or anything. That's the only thing that gave me solace. If she couldn't come
mm,
back the way she would normally operate, I wouldn't want her to do that. So,
mm,
but that shook me to my core because I'm the youngest of, well, my brother and I, we're twins. We're the youngest, and it's five of us. And I talk to my mama every day, 3 or 4 times a day. She'll call me up and say,
mm.
"Hey, what's the weather like there?" I'm like, "Ma, really?" Or she said, "I heard y'all getting a storm." For years, she thinks that I live on the coast of North Carolina. Nah, baby, we don't got that tropical storm. But I would pay anything to get that phone call to ask me what the weather like here, or I'm
Mm,
watching on the news, or just those simple phone calls. I talk to my mama every day, all day, and to not to have that no more.
mm. What was it like for you? I mean, not to have that no more. And now this is definitely, I think, like, I'm thinking about, if you don't mind, I'm going to talk just for a second so you can get yourself together a little bit there. I'm
Listen, I
thinking
used to
about,
cry.
like,
Toby, at
yeah,
this age, I cry all the time. It's all good.
yeah. Look, I don't got to be at no age. I cry all the time. I'm doing a
Yeah.
good job not crying because if I start crying, then we ain't gonna be able to finish it.
You remember
Um,
when PC used to cry all the time? We'd be like, Lord Jesus, we finna
here
cry.
you go. Right. But I remember when my grandmother passed,
Mhm.
because we talking about navigating new normals. There's some new normals in your life that's I can navigate this, but then them life changing new normals are the
Yeah,
ones that shake you up, and you
yeah,
don't know whether or not you're going to be able to get through this one. And I remember my grandmother passed. My grandmother was to me was like my second mom, to be honest with you, because my mom worked
yeah,
late nights, and she come home, she drive the bus and all these type things. And so I would stay with my grandmother a lot, so my grandmother watched me. And I've had people who have passed,
yeah,
that's connected to me, but when my grandmother passed, that was a whole nother thing for me. And I remember going to Tennessee, and it was just, well, before my grandmother passed, I mean, she was deteriorating fast. Like, she had dementia a little bit, and like I would go see her, and
yeah,
sometimes she'll call you by the wrong name. She probably didn't recognize who you was from time to time. And I
yeah,
remember the last time I saw her, my Malaya was with me. We was there because she was going to school in my hometown at the time, and
yeah,
and I left, and I was like, that's gonna be the last time I see my grandmother.
yeah,
What you mean? Like, because I just knew I could see it coming. And I didn't personally, this only way for me to navigate it, I didn't want to see my grandmother in no other condition than what I just saw her in. I didn't want to see her deteriorate like that.
yeah,
And so I remember when hospice came and brought that bed to she stayed with my aunt. And I remember my mom was there, and she was getting ready to pass. My mama FaceTimed me and was like, I'm gonna let you talk. I said, I do not want to see Nanny. That's what we call her, Nanny. In that, I'm good. The last things I got in my mind, that's what I want in my mind of my
yeah,
grandmother. And I remember when she passed, and I went to Tennessee, and I was coming back, and I just didn't realize I was grieving, to be honest with you. And it was like it was January 13th, I think it was 2023. She passed on Friday the 13th. That's why I always remember it. Friday
wow,
the 13th in January. And I was coming back, and I got a text from one of my friends who I hadn't talked to in years. It was a group chat. And of course it's January. Playoffs are going on, and they all Cowboy haters. Okay. And so Dallas is getting beat, right? They get beat. And this guy who ain't talked to in a long time texts me, tripping, laughing, blah, blah, blah. And I lost it.
mm,
I mean, like, in the text, I mean, when I tell you, Jen,
you lost it.
that wasn't no, I reacted. You know what I'm saying? I didn't respond. I reacted in that situation to the point where one of the persons on the group chat sent me a chat. This person said, "Yo, Tobe, hold on for a second, man." And I lost it. And I didn't realize how bad I was really grieving in that moment,
Yeah,
grieving to the point where I was projecting that grief onto somebody else, and
yeah,
at the same time trying to justify it. You know what I mean? You ain't talked to me in how long, and you gonna send this text to me, and then I mean I was trying to justify me
Yeah.
projecting that onto him,
Yeah.
and I just didn't realize how much I was grieving. So like to hear you talking about all of the losses in this period of time,
Hmm.
Jen, how did you navigate? And I'm sure you're still navigating it. But how did you navigate grief to where you move from this, I don't want to do nothing. I'm stuck. I don't care. Life is what it is, to where you was like, okay, let me start moving forward. How did you navigate that period right there?
It was definitely challenging because everybody responds to grief different. It's definitely not a cookie cutter approach. Like all my siblings grieve
Absolutely.
differently. But for me, like I told you earlier, I had a good group of people around me. My coworkers, they supported me well. And when I tell you that God knew everything, he lined it up perfectly. Because my mom died July 2022. I started a new job in February 2022.
Mm,
I got a new manager. I was on a new team. When I tell you, she understands family. She has a mother with dementia, older parent. She gave me all the time that I needed. People showed up, they supported. And I think even with grief, people don't know what to say. But a lot of people's presence, meaning their physical presence, just being around, helped out a lot. But even for me, I had to take it moment by moment. And
mm,
that's all. That's the only thing that I would do moment by moment. I didn't even say day by day because it was moment by moment for me. Um, whether it's getting through work, I don't think I lashed out in anger. Was I disappointed in God? Yeah, I was disappointed because although I know where she is, I wanted her physical presence with me. I know
absolutely.
that's kind of selfish, you know what I'm saying?
No,
But
we get it.
I,
That's all of us. If
that,
if
that
any if somebody does not say what you just said, man, they're
yeah.
probably lying. They're probably lying.
So listen, people would tell me, well, I didn't. Now I will say this: I didn't respond well to the Christian need stuff. Well, God needed her. No, no, dog.
Mm,
Mm-mm. I wanted her here with
mm,
me. We still have more
mm,
memories to create. You know what I mean? Um, I went through severe depression. I had to get on anxiety medicine. Because I would have
mm,
panic attacks. Because I will think about what did I miss? What could I have done differently? You go through all the things. Um, Even from the standpoint of like forgiving myself for certain things, like it's five of us, my twin brother in Virginia. Like whatever somebody going to in the hospital, you know how typical black families we gonna rotate. We're gonna be at that hospital. We're gonna keep
mm,
watch. We're gonna
mm,
bring our food in there. We're gonna get up in the morning, shower, and somebody else gonna take the next shift. That's how we operated. Um, So my brother was like, "Hey, should I come now?" I say, "Hold off," because she getting ready to get released from the hospital because she got to do physical therapy. So I had to forgive myself for telling him, "Hold off." I was thinking more of logistics and not thinking about she ain't gonna make it out of this. My mama always made it out of certain situations. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't do well with. I think I did the best I could by managing moment by moment. One of the things I did. If I did go to church, I was attending churches all around the world from my bed. I'd be at TD Jake's church. I'd be at Stephen Kraft. I would be at everybody's church on Sunday from
mm.
my
I get
bed,
it.
crying and all the things. And then every once in a while, I would get up and make it to refuge at the time. And have you ever season where whenever you go to church, it's it's the exact word you need to kind of get through. And I remember
Mm,
Sunday, Pastor Amy said, she called my name. And I really think she knew my name. She said, Jen, I just want to write you, joy is coming.
Mm,
So I just held on to that. You know what I'm saying? Joy is coming. But as far as just
mm,
navigating it well, I got a counselor. I was on anxiety medicine for a while, all with the plan to wean myself off to so I could become a little bit more functional.
functional. Yeah.
But one of the things that I had to rely on is um, that in this life, you know, the scripture, you're gonna have trials and tribulations. I think it's in John 16:33, he's talking about before Jesus talking to the disciple before he's crucified, and just
Mm,
kind of give him a layout. Hey, you know, let me read the scripture. It says, "I have told you these things so that you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world." Now,
mm.
he knew that night they was about to experience confusion, disappointment, grief, all the things. Their world was getting ready to be turned upside down.
A new
But what
normal was coming their way.
he was giving them the promise that it wasn't going to be an easy life, but he was preparing them for reality. And I think
Mm-hmm.
sometimes as believers, we're going to have seasons. We're going to have good seasons, bad seasons,
Mm,
but the seasons do end.
mm.
So he was setting them up for that reality. He didn't say you might have trouble. He said you will have
You
trouble.
will.
You will. But what he did say, he said, I'm with you. So I had to keep that in mind that he is with me, and not to
Mm,
discourage them, but he was saying that to kind of anchor them, to let
mm,
them know when these troubles come, be anchored in me. My presence is with you. So I had to keep on
mm.
reminding myself that God was with me, because God was showing up in ways even throughout this whole situation, like my brother, you know, the precious, and having a new manager, a supportive team, supportive friends, and you know, be in a relationship with my pastors that are now Pastor Josh and Amy Wilkerson. He would set me
But then you
up.
got married in this process too.
And the thing about that is, I believe a couple of months before my mom passed, my mom had met Will. So funny story, she had met him. I was dating him. Um, we had broke up, you know, for a year, and then, but she had met him. I had went to my brother's house, who was living in Wake Forest, and he makes this bomb, banana pudding. So when I broke up with him, my big brother was like, "So Jen, Will can come to the cookout, but you can't because that banana pudding, you need to kind of fix that." You know what I mean? So she knew him. So she said,
Mm,
when she found out that we was, you know, friends and stuff, she said, maybe that'll work out, you know. I was like, well,
mm.
maybe. And so our relationship was kind of forming, you know, being reunited in a way, you know, with our relationship, and just learning each other all over again. But she knew him. And when she passed away, you know, he was somebody that I was still, we wasn't boyfriend and girlfriend. We was just friends, but he
Right.
supported me through that process. You know,
Absolutely.
when I was away, he, come bring plants and just random stuff for me. I trusted him with that, but I was happy the fact that she had met him.
Mm,
But and how God works out is, me and Will, we got back together, and my brother had to move from North Carolina that a couple of months after my mom passed, you know. But he knew I was okay because I had got married to Will at that time.
mm,
So God doesn't make any
mm,
mistakes. God knew that I needed
mm,
my big brother, because my big brother was just like my second father. He helped
mm.
me search for a house, helped me build the house that I'm in and stuff like that. He walked me through that process. So it was ordained everything. You know,
Mm,
it was ordained everything on down
mm.
to all the background noise. So
It,
I
it,
knew God was with me. So I
absolutely.
mean, it's like sometimes when you can't trace him, but he's there. He's
Mm.
there.
And you said something when you read that scripture. We been, I know we don't be here for no hour. For you guys that's been hanging in here with us, it's worth it. Y'all, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. But you said something about that scripture about you know, in this life, you will have tribulations, but be of good cheer, for I have overcome the world.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've learned a lot in my life, and this is something I talk about a lot for those who follow me, is that one thing in life that is constant, that's change.
That's change.
Change is constant.
Yeah.
And because it's constant, that means it's part of life.
It's part of
And
life.
one of the things that I've learned is that God is this is my POV, the POVs, they be talking, this is my POV moment right here. But God he's the creator. I believe he's creator. And not only that, he's a master creator.
Yes.
So that means he created me, you, everybody else with purpose, for a purpose. And not only that, he equipped us to fulfill it as well. And so
Right.
I strongly believe that when God created you and created me, he knew that he was
Yeah.
birthing us into an environment of constant change.
Constant
He
change.
knew. He knew that you're going to experience, like you just said,
Yeah.
tribulations, trials. You're going to experience loss. It's
Yep.
coming. If you haven't experienced loss in your life and you're watching this, hey, I know it's going to sound crazy. It's coming. It is coming. It's the cycle. It's a cycle of life. And it's not something that you want to a lot of time experience. A lot of
Yeah.
times you think you're prepared for it, but emotionally you find out when it happens, you're not. And but then you come to realize that I heard Miles Monroe say something a long time ago, that if you cannot see the ultimate, you become a slave to your immediate situation.
Yeah.
And your immediate situation could be those losses that you're experiencing in your life. And if you don't see your purpose in life, if you don't see the vision in life, then what will happen is those losses and all those things will handcuff you. They will put you in bondage. They will cause you to stop growing. They will cause you to stop wanting to live life. You're like, I don't even want to live no more. I don't even want to live no more. And you're asking God questions, and the reality is like God ain't answering you back sometimes. But he's like, I knew this was going to happen. I knew that these changes that you're experiencing in your life. Now, how you're experiencing these life-changing experiences, like, for example, like with you. Look, people gonna die, but you don't want somebody to take somebody's life. And that's tough when somebody takes somebody's life too early. And when somebody leaves you unexpectedly, it don't even matter. Death is death. When somebody leaves you unexpectedly or expectedly, it still cut. It
Yeah.
still cuts. And the thing I'm learning, and it's tough sometimes. Like even when you're talking to people, like you say, everybody experiences grief differently. But then it's like you gotta have that friend in your life, and it's tough. It's a tough friend. They're there for you, and then they come up to you and say, "You know what? I hear you, but
Yeah.
at some point." And the thing is, only you know when that point is. I can't tell you when that point is. Can't nobody else tell you when that point is. And when I mean at some point, you're gonna have to make a decision to put one step in front of the other and
Yeah.
start living again and start moving forward and start fulfilling the purpose that God put in you before you ever got here, before you ever experienced the losses in your life. That purpose is still moving. That purpose is still alive. It doesn't change. But what happens is change in life can cause you to lose sight of the purpose. Now changes can cause you to repurpose things in your life. You start repurposing stuff and you lose sight of really why you're here. And some people go, this is the last thing this is what I want people to hear from you, Jen. Some people go through changes, and then some people grow through changes.
Yeah.
And I believe that's what you did. I
Yeah.
believe with all of the changes that happened in your life, you didn't just go through it. You
Yeah.
grew through it. And because you grew through it, that's why we started off with the achievement at the beginning. You grew through it, and as a result of you growing through it, guess what? I was able to present this idea it stayed in me. It was in me in 2022, but I didn't present it until what? 2026. Why? Because you're growing. You're now becoming, again, let me put this back up on the screen for people who didn't see it. A new normal is the place where change forces you to stop living from the old playbook and start becoming the person your next assignment required. So
Yeah.
this season of your life required a different version of you
Yep.
in order for you to move forward. So I sent this to you the other night when we got off the call, when we were just talking about this. And I said, what did you learn about yourself during that time that helped you move forward?
A couple of things is really understanding. I can't stress enough is having a biblical view of seasons, good seasons
Mm,
and bad seasons.
mm,
And in those seasons, knowing that we're going to experience stress, and it's not just bad stress; it could be a good stress. If you look up, I think the good stress is called your stress. It's called EUSTRESS, but that's a good stress in which um, it changes your psychological, gives you more focus. You're more engaged. You're motivated. So in seasons, you're gonna have a good stress and bad stress. It's just like
mm.
being prepared for that. If you get a new job, know that it's gonna come with a level of stress, but everything is still temporary. You know
Come
what I'm
on.
saying? Realizing that. And another piece is that faith is faith is like a rubber band, like this. It's not used until it's stretched.
Mm,
So this season really stretched me with my faith and really relying on God. Because here's another thing. My mom, this is what I realized is that I was very dependent on my mom at
mm,
I was 45 when she passed away. I called my mom and asked everything. But her passing away, now catch this. You know how people say you can't live on your mama's or your grandmama's prayers? I was dependent on her for an answer instead of going to God. So in
mm,
this season, I learned that I must go to God.
mm,
I have to rely on God. My mama's not here to
mm.
tell me. My mama's here not to tell me, how to do this or what I should do and give me input on this. Have to ask God for direction and really trust the Holy Spirit in the inside of me and leading and guiding me in my decisions, when to speak, when not to speak. So it really forced my dependence on God and to realize I didn't have a true dependence on God until my mother left.
Wow.
So that's what the death of my mom exposed that I didn't have a true dependence on God. Because anything happened, I was calling my mom. And catch this, even during that season, me and my homegirl, we fell out. We didn't talk for a year. Who I would call? My mom. Who I would call?
Mm,
P. It was just
mm,
me and God at this point. And I was forced to really rely on my relationship with God. Now, all those me and P good now, but I think it taught both of us in that season that we really got to depend on God instead of each other. We really got to
wow.
strengthen our relationship. I'm not speaking for her, I'm speaking for myself.
Right.
Um, I have to strengthen my relationship with God, and He has to be my source. He has to be the one that I trust. He has to be the one that I speak to and have all the frustration that He give me answers to, instead of going to my mother, my friend, or my brother, or my sister.
Mm.
It put me right nice in the silo.
Oh my God, we got to get off of here. I can keep going. This almost requires a part two sometime. You gonna
But I
come
want
back?
to leave people with this though.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Leave them with something.
When people know that when you experience a new season, you're going to have stress, whether it's good stress or bad stress. But ask God to give you strength for the season. Just give you
Mm,
strength
mm.
so you can endure. So that's all I got. So I'm still enduring because life is still happening.
And you
You know,
got the strength. And every time you endure, you're already in strength. You already got the strength to do it. Because see, I'm the person that believes that the strength you're asking for, He already equipped you with that before you got here.
yeah.
And so now it's just being able to tap into it so that you can use it in moments in your life. And Jen, you're when I look at you, I see nothing, I see resilience.
That's a
That's
praise.
that's the word that comes to my mind is straight up resilience.
I
And
appreciate that.
I'm glad to be able to call you my friend. And I know I can, look, we trip out. Look, me, you, P. I mean, me, you, and P and Stu get on them calls sometimes, and we just get on there and we just trip out, man. Even during that time in your life, you know. And we even knew like this might be good, this to get with Jen, and this so she can have like a sense of community in this particular in this time of her life.
Yeah.
And so yeah, you right here, you cool, you will always be cool with Toby. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
I appreciate
And
that.
yeah, and look, I know I can trip out around y'all, and then I know we can have these type conversations and conversations where we can keep it real. Like y'all come to me and keep it. Y'all don't say some things to me, especially when I'm not doing what I need to be doing. Like, okay, that y'all said some things to me. And so you need people like that in your life, man. And I appreciate you all and you being in my life. And I appreciate you coming on here and sharing your story. And I like what you said. Yes, it's seasons. Change is also a gift. What do I mean by change being a gift? Meaning that it won't always be like this.
Yeah.
And that's good to know that it won't always be like this. It's good to know that this too will pass. Thank God that this too will pass. So change is not something something that leads to your demise. Like for some people it does. It leads to their demise. But change also is a gift that can catapult you and cause you to grow. And that's what I see right now. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at somebody who grew through change. Yeah. And as a result, I see the resilience. You become this person that you need to be in this season of your life. You're leading people. You're out here speaking now. I be seeing you're doing things that I don't know you would be doing if these things in your life if they wouldn't happen. I don't know. I just don't know. I can't say you would have. But what I do know, you adjusted and you grew and you become this person that people are benefiting from. Let me say it like that. People are benefiting from this Jennifer Barber-Garrett, and I appreciate you, Miss Jen. I just call her Jen B, but I don't know. I got now it's Jen B G.
Jen G. But
Jen G.
I want to tell you this really quickly. If you put your definition up there, I see what you did there with that change definition. That's nothing but Matthew 9:17. We can't put new wineskin in old wineskin and new wineskin. That's really what it is, right?
You can't.
We need new strategies.
It's a new normal. Like when I think about new normals, I think about even like you said that how you depended on your mom for a lot of things. And now you're in a season of your life where that's gone. You can't, that playbook is gone. I can't go to that old playbook no more. And now you got to become the person that this next season required of you, which was what? I thought I depended on God, but now, man, am I depending on God more than ever? Yeah. And that right there, that depending on God. Now you start to see more about who you are, what you can do, and your purpose is still right there in front of you. God is showing you, okay, it's tough, it's rough. Oh, I know it is, but I still got something for you. And part of that, something I believe, and I ain't telling you this, God saying this, is things like this, Jen. There are a lot of people out here who are experiencing loss and grief, and they just don't know, and they need to hear stories. That sometimes it ain't all about this saying this is what you need to do this. They just need to hear stories of people who've been through the same thing that they're going through, and to also know that it's possible. Yeah. That I can grow through this. It might be tough. Like you said, I had to take moment by moment, not day by day. I had to take it moment by moment. But you didn't just stay there. Yeah. You just didn't stay there. Now look, now you got 2 ideals that your company got. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You got 2 ideas that your company got because you decided not to stay there. You decided to grow through it. Now there's still grief, but you're still moving forward. You're still moving forward. You're still living to the best of your ability. You're doing good. That's all I know. You're doing good.
Somebody told me last week that I said she said no one is really stuck unless they refuse to grow.
Mm,
If they don't have that
come
growth
on.
mindset, if they don't have that growth dimension, you know. But if you do have it, you're not stuck. You're not stuck if you have that growth dimension.
Look, we stopping right there. Did y'all hope y'all heard that? You're only stuck when you refuse to grow.
Yeah.
Did y'all hear that, change makers? Y'all need to write that. If you're stuck in life, it's because you might be refusing to grow. So we're gonna stop right there. And I'm gonna be back next week. As a matter of fact, my guest next week is all up in this chat. And so you definitely want to tune in next week for the last July guest for this little series. And again, Jen, I appreciate you. And for all of you who stayed on here for what, an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah, y'all go follow Toby if y'all not following him. This is a great platform for people to learn, grow. I love it. Shout out to you, Toby. You know what? We've always told you, you have so many gems, you the world of knowledge. I mean, you always encourage us and stretch us. But I really appreciate you, man. I really do.
So you trying to make me cry
The
now.
world
So we
haven't
gotta go.
seen yet. Eyes
Look,
haven't seen. I love it.
she trying to make me cry now, y'all. So we gotta
No,
go
I'm
until
serious about that. We
I
said that
know.
all the
I
time.
received that. I appreciate you. I appreciate. Don't make me. Don't do it to me. Don't do it to me. Don't make me cry. All right, you guys. We'll talk to you next week. Next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Again, we thank you for staying with us for this hour and a half and being locked in. God bless you. Until next week. Have a great weekend. Week and weekend.